Hello and welcome to Grow Your Yoga. My name is Todd McLaughlin. I'm here at Native Yoga Center. Stick pose, how to practice Dandasana. Stick pose is an asana that's utilized in the ashtanga primary series, and it is a forward bend because we investigate lying down. Here we're in a neutral position, body is flat. In the process of here, actually, believe it or not, is a forward bend. And here is a forward bend, and here is a forward bend, here is a forward bend. If I stand up, similar concept. Here I'm neutral, at just a 5-degree tip at the pelvis forward. This is a forward bend, this is a forward bend. You get the idea. So Dandasana is the key preparatory pose for the majority of all the forward bends that we practice in the primary series. And it's a pose that is very beginner friendly. I'm going to break down all the tips and tricks that you need to know to help make Dandasana benefit and help your overall practice. So Dandasana is a seated pose. Come down onto your yoga mat, whatever you have available to practice on currently. And the main idea in the beginning, to start off from the ground up, is the legs. In Dandasana, bring your legs together and take your hands onto the floor. So the first thing that we encounter is figuring out how flexible or inflexible our hamstrings are, and also what type of tension we're carrying in our back. And so with that being said, Dandasana, you align your palms down on the floor beside you. And the question I had this morning from a student was, in Dandasana, am I supposed to push down and lift my hips in the air? The answer is no. You keep your hips down on the floor. However, if the question is framed, do I lift up in Dandasana? The answer is yes. Lifting up, referencing the fact that if you're in a slouched position, which is like the majority of all of us most of the time throughout the day, then Dandasana, imagine you have a pulley attached to the top of your head, and we are attempting to bring the spine into a very tall, lifting, elongating position. And we use the hands to help facilitate this, and you can use downward pressure, but the downward pressure is really just to give a sense of stability and a little bit of aid in the ability to sit up straight. What to do with the shoulders is the next question. So if in Dandasana, if I have long arms and I lock out my elbows, my shoulders are going to lift up and potentially create some stress or tension in the neck or upper trapezius muscles. So the strategy can be arms beside hips, let the elbows bend so that your shoulders can come down. However, I can still push down a little bit to try to give that feeling of lifting the chest and getting the body up nice and tall. So bend the elbows, push, but depress your scapulas. Scapula movement, there's a couple different terms I want to point out to you. I'm going to turn my back to you so you can see. Scapula protraction, shoulder blade scapula, scapula retraction, scapula elevation, scapula depression. So in Dandasana, depress your scapulas. Bend your elbows as much as you need to be able to depress your scapulas. Retract your scapulas. What that means is shoulder blades down, shoulder blades together on the back to a certain degree. And then that's the main element with the shoulder blades and what we can try to do, and how you gauge that with the amount of flexion you need to place in your elbows. Another question, let me come back down to the legs. What to do with the legs? I like in Dandasana to practice the dorsiflex, which is where we take our toes toward. The opposite of dorsiflex is plantar flex. So here we're going to dorsiflex. And then with that being said, squeeze the quadricep muscles. Hold and contract the quads. Pull the stomach in. So we're now going to activate contraction of your thighs. Press the back of the knees down. And I'm going to address hamstring flexibility in one moment. Squeeze the thighs, press the back of the knees down, dorsiflex your feet, place your hands on the floor, gently press, lift your chest, shoulder blades depress, shoulder blades retract. One more ingredient, the throat, the chin, what to do. In ashtanga, there's what's called Jalandhara Bandha. Jalandhara Bandha is a chin lock. It references this ability to take the chin and tuck it down into the what's called clavicular, the sternoclavicular notch. That's this little U-shaped section here on your clavicle on your chest. So what we attempt to do is take our chin down into that little notch. Everybody's neck is aligned differently, bone structure, so you might not be able to get your chin to your throat. I have a long chin. I can tuck it in. Your body's going to be your body. Do what you can do, but the idea is try to tuck your chin in. There also is an element called Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and then what I just mentioned, Jalandhara Bandha, to keep this really brief. Mula Bandha, pelvic floor squeeze. Imagine you're holding going to the bathroom. Tight pelvic floor. Abdomen, belly, pull it in a little bit. Not suck it in so deep you can't breathe, but a moderate contraction of your abdominal wall. Gentle down press and the chin lock. And we have Dandasana. Now, the next question that often pops up is, what about my hamstrings? My hamstrings are really tight, so I am unable to sit up straight. Well, in the beginning, take your hands behind you, lean back as far as you need to get your legs straight. Once you can get your legs straight, perform a little bit of a cow pose motion, which is more of a back bend. Now what you're doing is you're manipulating your pelvis. Right now I'm in what's called a pelvic tilt, which is a posterior tilt. And this is more of an anterior tilt because I'm taking the pelvis anteriorly, forward, posterior, backward. So if I get my legs straight, but I have to lean back to do it because my hamstrings are tight, and where the hamstrings attach on the ischial tuberosity at the base of the pelvis, I'm gonna extend the spine to get that anterior tilt, and then really work on press the back of your knees down. And your Dandasana might look a little more like this. With practice, slow and steady, come forward more for the ability to be able to actually lift the spine vertically above and create a really strong engagement of your pelvic floor, abdominal muscles, and a little bit of pressure at your throat. And this is stick pose. I hope I shared a little bit of light, shed a little light on your stick pose practice. For those of you that are tuning in live on social media platforms, you're always welcome to leave a question or comment. Those of you tuning in on the recorded option, leave a comment or a question. I'll gladly answer. Have a wonderful day. I will see you every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern and 12 p.m. Eastern time live, and then obviously on our YouTube channel 24/7. You can access all of our content. Also remember, I have a website, nativeyogacenter.com, and on there you can find all my links to all the different offerings I have available online. My goal is to share my passion and love of yoga with you and make it accessible. Have a wonderful day. Until next time.